Hi everyone, it's Michelle DiPacina here with Next Shark, and I've truly tested how far I'll go with Moana because today I'm in the beautiful island state of Hawaii, and I'm also joined with Hualalai Chung, who voices Moni from Moana 2. I'm so excited today because we've got a bunch of incredible activities lined up. We're learning how to make waves, learning how to dance, and even venturing out on the ocean. But since I know Hawaii is your home, can you share a little bit about these cultural traditions and, what their significance is?
Yeah, like there's so many cultural traditions that are even displayed in the movie, and they all hold a different sense of heart with them. And that's the thing that I love so much about them. In the idea of making lei, in traditional Polynesian culture, like we didn't have money or we didn't have things of that type of value. So you would pour your heart, your spirit, your time into creating these things and giving that sense of aloha when you have the opportunity to gift them to one another.
We get to see most of these practices in Moana 2 as we're expanding more on the Polynesian culture. So I'm curious, what does it mean to you to have these type of representation on the big screen, and what do you hope audiences from around the globe, take from it?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I when we were growing up, we watched films like Aladdin, you watched films like Mulan, and these films that depicted a culture or a community from all over the world. Being Pacific Islander, we didn't have that. So now we have the story of Moana, and the thing that's so fulfilling is that so many audiences and so many communities really resonate with the story of Moana because she's about community, she's about serving, she's about believing in yourself and idealizing how far you can go. Not to be punny, right? But, I think that's something that shines so bright in the film, and that's something that everybody really has fallen in love with.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited for everybody else to go see it. But I guess in the meantime, let's go see what lies beyond on this island.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
First of all, congratulations.
Thanks!
Moana 2 brings us on the journey of much higher emotional stakes.
Yeah.
Riskier adventure, and while also expanding on the Polynesian culture. We're introduced to a lot of new characters in this film. I'm curious about what it was like for you to navigate the new dynamics and emotions in the recording booth, because now you're a leader, a big sister, and you even have your own crew. So.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I feel so grateful to be coming back for a sequel. It's never guaranteed, but what I'm also specifically happy about is that Moana is the first Disney princess to be allowed to age. So it's been 3 years since we last saw her from our first film, and you're absolutely right. She's become a master navigator. She's out on the open ocean. She's sailing for days at a time. She has a younger sister named Simea who pulls at Moana's heartstrings to stay home. I have younger cousins, and I know that at that age of 3, they grow so quickly. You feel like you miss so much. And we have so many incredible themes in this film of connection. Moana wanting to connect the people of the entire world, the entirety of the Pacific to start. And it feels really lovely to be able to grow right along with this character. I was 14 when I was cast. I turned 24 in a couple of days. It's really, I feel really lucky to come back to these shoes and to play a character so strong and kind, and someone who isn't afraid to grab a demigod by the ear. She's the best.
Yes. We were talking about themes earlier. One that I loved was the theme of the grief of growing up, knowing what you have to lose now, the sacrifices, while also embracing change. So I know, like you said, you've been a part of Moana for a while now. So I'm curious if this journey has shaped your own growth and your own outlook on life as well, and if there were any personal moments for you.
Oh, that's a great question. I feel like I absolutely have grown. This character, this has started my career. I've gone far beyond the reef thanks to her. I know that I have changed. First and foremost, my voice has changed. I remember doing some additional records because Moana lives even outside of these films. I've done firework recordings and Princess Lego movies and Disney on Ice records, and I always pitch my voice up. I am Moana, what to do? And now I sound like this. So growth is shown even through her voice, but she's impacted me so much. I will never not give flowers back to Disney for first and foremost putting my culture on a screen like this. Navigation is a part of indigenous knowledge to the Pacific that is so important to see on screen, and stories of how Maui pulled islands up from out of the sea and slowed down the sun, we own those. They're ours first and foremost. But it's great to see them on a larger scale so that more people know, hey, we're great, you know?
It's gonna be your birthday. So here's a fun question. If Moana was to throw a birthday party for you, what do you think it would look like? What would be her plans?
I know for a fact that there would be pork on the menu, and we love
Oh,
pua,
yes.
but that is a reoccurring
Yeah.
joke. That is true. We would be having a whole spread of food. I know that she would feed me really well. I know that there would be song and dance, and maybe a dance off, which
Ooh,
I'm
yes,
super
yes.
into. What else? I would probably get a whole bunch of leis, which is very traditional here. And I remember when my cousins were graduating, the leis were stacking on top of each other, just higher and higher and higher. And that's also how we show our love. So a lot of flowers, a lot of food, and a lot of dancing.
Well, thank you so much, and I hope you do get that for your birthday.
Thank you.
Happy early birthday.
Thanks so much. Thanks for being here.
So I'm curious, what was the process like for creating, developing these new characters? How did you come up with their stories and their specific roles?
We're gonna let Dave answer this question.
Yeah, no,
Tell us, Dave.
we specifically chose characters that would push on Moana and force her to grow, but also we wanted to show that you can go further together than you can alone. And the people of the Pacific found the last discoverable land on Earth. They were the greatest voyagers ever. And to do that, we wanted characters that could showcase the indigenous genius that it took. So we have Kele, who is a farmer. Why do you need a farmer? Because he had to bring plants that had to stay alive, and he has to feed our crew. Then you have Loto, who's our engineer. She designs the canoe. Maybe she takes it apart to make it better. And then we have Moni, our oral historian and storyteller and oarsman. So each one of them showcases a very specific part of voyaging.
And I'm also curious about creating the villains, or maybe the new challenges. I don't want to spoil anything, but how did you go about creating these new characters, villains, or new challenges?
I would say one of the big themes in the movie and core themes is that this idea of connection, and that the ocean is what connects us all. Moana is going off on an adventure to connect to other people across the Pacific, and so in thinking about what she wants and what connection might mean, we started thinking about what it would mean to be disconnected. And so there's so many stories throughout the Pacific of gods and demigods who want different things for people, and so we were really inspired by that, and that was partially how we created this epic storm that happens at the end of the film. We wanted to create something that could keep people apart, and so Moana has to overcome this storm in order to answer the call of her ancestors.
Yes. We're also expanding a lot more on the Polynesian culture, specifically music and dance. I love that. But I want to know, what does that mean to you personally, to have that sort of representation on the big screen, and what sort of impact do you hope this will have on, I think specifically children of the AAPI community?
I think it's the first film was incredible, the impact that it had, and we really wanted to just add to that and expand the world and expand everyone's understanding and allow people of the culture to see themselves in a powerful, specific way. So for me, I'm very proud of that. We have an incredible Oceanic Cultural Trust that has experts from all over the different islands, linguists, tattoo artists, historians, and navigators, and they have helped hone our story so that we can have this meaningful representation.
And I hope Pacific Islander kids out there see themselves in these stories, and they see what's possible for them, that they can go out and make a Disney movie one day.
Yes. First of all, congratulations. You both didn't just write one or two songs, you made a full album for Moana 2, and I love it.
Thank you.
It doesn't feel real. No.
Can you walk me through your songwriting process for this film? Did you have a specific starting point, or did the directors tell you specific phrases that they want to include in the songs?
It's all a huge conversation. So it's kind of like everything informs everything else, and we always ask our writers to give us a word vomit doc whenever we start writing a song, because they live inside these characters pretty in-depthly.
Intimately.
English is not working for me today. I'm so sorry. And so we ask them to just like vomit out a bunch of stuff from their point of view, and a lot of times that inspires something.
Yeah.
And it starts the train moving.
Yeah. And we also, had so much support culturally because this is so anchored in the Polynesian culture. So we got lots of research. We got to speak to the Oceania Cultural Trust, and
They inspired whole songs.
yeah, real life wayfinders, people who are on journeys right now like Moana. So that was really fascinating, and getting to speak to them definitely inspired the music and the creation process.
And having Opataya.
And
Mark,
Opataya, yeah.
who wrote the music of the first movie with Lynn, and so they're on this with us as well. And they were the best resource because they've been here for a minute.
They've lived here.
They've been in this world for a long time.
Nice. So I know you've also both written, composed music in the past, but were there anything different or unique about specifically writing music for a Disney movie?
Oh yeah, epic differences for sure.
Yeah, I mean, animation is a completely different animal, and it was honestly incredible. It's still magical to me because I don't know how anything got made. But Disney is a place that really values music, unlike any other place that I think I've worked at. They view music as the most powerful storytelling tool, and I feel like a lot of other places that I've worked at try to hide the fact that it's a musical. They try to like shove it in a corner, or they kind of view music as an afterthought, and that was so not the case here, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, I like telling stories through music is such an epic way to work, and I have a background in one-off pop songs, so getting challenged to write for a Disney heroine, one as epic as Moana, was a dream come true and a daunting challenge that we were willing to step up to the plate.
So I know we're seeing these songs come to life for the characters in Moana too, but I'm also curious if most of these songs are reflective of your own lives, of your own experiences.
Yeah.
I think anyone who writes songs for anybody you pull a little bit from your own experience, but the whole point of musical theater for me is you're putting yourself in the shoes of someone else and trying to honor their perspective on the world, which I think is a really beautiful thing because it takes you outside of your own mind and you view the project, as you say, as something bigger than yourself, which is, I feel like, something that's very rooted actually in the Pacific culture, because it's never an I mentality, it's a we mentality. And Moana especially is all about her community and serving her people. Sorry, I'll just bring it back to Moana always.
Yeah, I mean, and like I feel like the biggest personal connection was that, we are her age. We are, struggling
Peers.
young women just like Moana is, and, we're not fighting lava monsters, but everybody has their own version of a lava monster, and so I feel like we definitely, whether or not it was conscious, were, adding our emotions and the process of working for and writing for this project, allowed us to do that.
Well, I specifically love Beyond, and I know the first film was very much beloved, and I'm pretty sure this one will be as well.
Oh, yay. I'm glad you liked it.
Of course, yeah. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time
you.
today.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.